Oh, I've got to have to sneeze. Hold on. Okay. I think we're good. Sorry about that. Sometimes these things just come on super suddenly. Anyway, hi. Happy Friday, everyone. It's another day, and you have made it through the week as I have. And it, you know, before I get into everything, and we will, don't worry, I won't take up too much of your time with random chattage, because like during this game, and also during We Were Here Forever with my friend, I don't really get a ton of time to actually like blather, I guess, about random things and like talk about stuff that's on my mind, which, you know, I like doing, I guess, and that's one of the reasons why I sort of like talking about what's on my mind. And yeah, it was a weird week, like super busy in some ways, kind of stressful in others, super like rewarding in a couple places, and also like, I mean, yeah, like, anyway, so it's good, but I don't know, like, we're doing this tonight, we're gonna beat this, and then depending on how I feel, we may do some programming afterwards, we may play a different game, maybe, but or we might just stop. It really, it depends on what we're doing, but I don't know. It's a bit of a mood. Yeah, start playing. So I think this is the last part of this trial. I'm fairly certain, because I feel like there have been enough bits and pieces, and we have like pretty much the whole picture, and really all we gotta do is catch Darian in a lie, and then we're gonna be great. So anyway, let's let me drink a little bit of water, and then I'll get into doing my brand of voice acting for you all.
Apollo, I can't believe it. It really happened during the second act. And right in the middle of Lami Roar's performance?
The reason why she was in that air vent, and that switch, the flaming guitar, when you link it all together, that's what you end up with. Is that right? Or that Gavin? Darian? Who's talking? I knew you had what it took. Oh, it's right.
Huh, Daddy!
Mr. Right. You believed in me? Not really. Huh? I just thought that'd make a cooler entrance than say, hiya. Why do I even bother hoping?
Where have you been lately, Daddy?
I mean, he's not wrong that, like, that is a cooler version, like, a cooler way to enter than otherwise, you know?
You haven't been coming to the office at all.
Sorry about that, Trucy. I'm on a secret mission.
Secret? You mean like you're undercover?
Like Missila Tooth, only shorter and not as well dressed.
Oh, no, what if you're shot too, Daddy?
Well, would I do a thing like that to you? Anyway, I'm off for a while again. You're leaving? Oh, one thing before I go. What? Good luck. Alright. Is that all you came to say? I think you have things pretty much under control. You'll get Machi Tobase off the hook, no doubt. Yeah, but you're after that detective, aren't you? Darian Crescent. It won't be easy proving he did it. Especially not under the current court system. The current court system? What did Prosecutor Gavin say during the trial? Your case is based on one fragile assumption. Namely that our diva divine is telling the truth.
But what about all that proof? The brooch and the switch.
A piece of jewelry and a lyrical blunder. There are plenty of other ways to explain these things. The flaming guitar, too. All because you lack definite proof of their connection to the case. But if the sultry songstress is lying, your case melts like butter in a frying pan, even behind the faintly singed scent of failure. So what do I do? Like I said, good luck. Be aware that it will be impossible to prove his guilt by conventional methods. Oh, that reminds me. I have something to give you from our detective friend. Detective Sky? Emma? Let's see. This bag of snacks here was meant for me. Here it is.
What are those, Daddy? They don't look like very good snacky material.
They were found at the scene. Analysis of the fragments revealed traces of gunpowder.
Gunpowder?
Probably a firecracker or something similar. What the ones kids are into these days. These fragments were found under the sofa at the scene of the crime, actually. Under the sofa?
Hey, Apollo. That's where we found that little devicey thing.
Right. This. Oh, finally. Some evidence that makes sense. Oh, okay. So that's how they made the gunshots happen afterwards, right? Burnt fragments added to the court record. That's all from me, I suppose. Examine. So, you think this is some kind of firecracker?
Yeah, one of those noisemakers, like you shoot off at New Year's.
You know, in China they use firecrackers on New Year's to scare off evil. It's kind of the same thing.
Really? I had no idea. Well, did you know this? It takes more than 500 peanuts to make one 12-ounce jar of peanut butter.
I use this fact has something to do with the evidence. That is a lot of peanuts, though. See you after the verdict. Maybe. Right. Every man has an igniter inside him. Excuse me? Find Darien Crescent's igniter and set it off. And we walked out the door. Just like a magician, normally.
Well, what does he want us to do? No conventional methods? What does that mean?
I guess we just had to take his advice. It makes sense when the time comes.
I guess.
Almost at the finish line. Hang in there, Trucy. Court is now back in session. Prosecutor Gavin, where's Detective Crescent? In the witness lounge, ready to record at any time. Very well. Might I add, I don't believe any of this. He, Darien, was the first detective I ever worked with. We stopped working together when we moved to Criminal Affairs, Division 3. But his guitar playing fires my imagination. That's nice, but it's nothing to do with the matter at hand. Correct? Oh, I know. Hair forehead. Very well. Call the final witness to the stand. Oh god, why is my voice killing itself? One moment. Okay. Detective Darien Crescent. Name and occupation, please. Darien Crescent, Detective Criminal Affairs, Division 3. Oh wait, sorry, we gave him Snake Voice, right? That's the International Affairs Division, for those you didn't know. And I'm a guitarist for the Gaviners. Maybe you heard of us? You fully understand the circumstances of which you stand before us today. Yeah, I understand, Your Honor. What I don't understand is how you let this happen, partner. You gave me your word I wouldn't be standing here. The situation's changed, Davian. And don't call me partner. So much for old friends. See what you're doing, Darien. You're pressing the prosecution. Your Honor, if we could begin the trial? Yes, it's high time we did. Let's hear your testimony. You may begin with your response to Lamy Roar's testimony, if in fact you have anything to say about it. Oh, I got plenty to say. Lying must be a national pastime in Virginia. Wherever you're from, Mr. Justice. Ha! Conditional methods are out the window, huh? There's nothing. The diva's lying, plain and simple. She had nothing to back up her story. In the first place, she never heard my voice. She forgot the words because she heard gunshots? As if. Didn't Detective Emma Sky hear those gunshots during the third set anyway? The shooting took place when I was on stage, man. So you claim Lamiro's testimony was a lie? Hey, don't get me wrong. I dig what she's doing, trying to protect that kid. And she's got the court eating vague statements out of her hand just because she's blind.
You go too far, Guardian.
Look, all I'm saying is, you've got a reliable witness. Why not listen to the detective? Detective Sky. I see. Mr. Justice, you may begin the cross-examination.
Can't waste any time finding our weak spot. Can't do this with Lamiro's testimony alone. I have to find some other way to prove when the shooting took place.
Alright, so no perceptions.
Let's get saving. You don't have any proof she was lying.
Oh, yeah, kid? You saying I lied?
No, I'm just saying, Apollo, right back at him. Couldn't help it. Plus my reflex. Detective Crescent.
Yeah? What do you want?
Apollo! Chin up, back straight. You're wilting. That's hard as nails. Makes Walkie look downright cooperative.
Look, there's no way the diva remembers my voice.
You never heard my voice. You never talked to her? Even though you were playing the same concert?
Not a word, as far as I can recall.
But weren't there planning sessions or something?
Gavin took care of all that himself.
Dotting wasn't involved in any of the meetings with that.
As if you can just go around remembering everyone's voice like that anyway. Only an idiot would believe that.
Lamiro's hearing is very sensitive. She could remember him if she heard him. I'm sure of it. I just can't prove it. And I need proof. We know she missed the words. The mixing board proved it.
Oh, yeah, what a mistake. But blaming it on gunshots is just a lame excuse.
What do you mean?
The mixing board proves what? Proves there was a mistake in the song. A miscue. So, she just flubbed it up. Big time. That's all. She spins this story about a gunshot to protect the kid, cover her own goof. And I'd have to hand it to her. She wasn't sticking it to me at the same time.
Darian, watch what you say. Lamiro is an artist. She just flubbed it up. That's no small accusation for a performer of her caliber.
She got to you all right. Can see it in your eyes. I tell you, most of her stuff is so pretentious, it's way over my head.
Touching a rift in the Gavin.
Anyway, she's too close to the defendant. Her testimony can't be trusted. You ask me, I'd go with Detective Sky's story at the drop of a pick.
Actually, I was there too.
So I hear. Which means you heard them too, right? The gunshots?
Yes, we heard gunshots. Neither I nor Emma actually saw the shooting, mind you.
Guess you and Lamiro got the same excuse then.
They know one thing for certain here. There were gunshot-like sounds that emanated from that room during the third set. What we must determine is whether those sounds were actually gunshots. Machi heard them too. Remember? He said he ran for the air duct when he heard them. So, how do we figure out just what those gunshots during the third set were? Right there, dude. That could have been what the shooter wanted us to think.
I'll tell you what the shooter, that kid, wants you to think. He wants you to think the diva heard me in that room.
Final Lamiro's testimony. As much as I'm enjoying the Darian and Forehead show, there's no need for such tempers. Don't make us into some comedy duo.
This means the Gavin and Dario show's canceled.
Neither of your claims can be proven or disproved. We could argue for days like this and get nowhere.
Prosecutor Gavin is quite right. This court will hear no further discussion on this topic without new facts.
New facts, huh? I think we're going to present the thing. He's pretty eager to paint Lamiro as a liar, isn't he? Yeah, because her testimony is basically our entire case. This is tough. What do we do? I've got a few ideas. Just need to find out a way to prove it didn't happen when he said it did. I don't know where we should attack here, I guess. Because, like, we have these. And we have these. Triggered by remote trigger. Which could have been triggered from the piano. There's also this, the all concert staff roll. I kind of wonder if that's a piece at all. I mean, like, that's not what he's talking about. Like, his point about, like, she's never heard it before doesn't really matter to the case. Because she recognized his voice shooter-wise and then later on. So, like, we could present this because it says all concert staff wore one, which means that she would have heard his voice if he talked over it. Objection! But I don't think this is real. Or rather, I don't think this is gonna, like, yeah, no. That's the, that's the, you sucked, kid. So, like I said, it doesn't really factor into the case, I don't think. Didn't she hear those gunshots? Okay, I think it's this one, probably, because Gavin chimed in about a gunshot like sound. Some things were found at the crime scene after yesterday's trial. What things? The first was this small device. That's the remote triggered igniter. Correct. And one more thing. What are those? The remains of something burnt. Locked in the guitar. Traces of gunpowder were found on these fragments. We have a report that it was something like a firecracker. How did Gavin know about this? But you think Detective Sky works for you? I received the report this morning before coming here. That's when I made my decision, actually. What decision is this, Prosecutor Gavin? Excuse me. I feel like I'm having a hard time doing the judge's voice today for some reason. I registered Diana as a witness in today's trial, just in case. This raises another possibility. Those gunshot-like sounds during the third set could have been two firecrackers ready to go off by remote control. You got an active imagination, don't you? You shouldn't say every little thing you think. Your explanation there seems a bit too convenient to me. How so? So, you're saying these firecrackers just happened to go off? Right when two witnesses came walking by? That's right. Darian was out on stage when it happened, Apollo. How do you know someone was backstage right then? Because he left the headset there. If a firecracker goes off in the forest, and there's no one there to hear, you get my drift. Why go through the trouble, man? How do I explain this? He may not look it, but Darian is a gifted detective. Show any weakness, and he's sure to find it. He may not look it, partner. Gee, thanks, man. That reminds me. I happened to pass through that very hallway several times that day myself, and I saw something odd there just before the third set. Something odd? A headset. The kind all the band and staff members were wearing. That's right. We picked this up in front of the door to that dressing room. What if that headset wasn't dropped, but placed? And what if it turned on? You could hear what was going on in that hallway, even if you were out on stage. I like that Gavin's like working with me on this. Whose side are you on, Gavin? Listen to me, Darian. There are no sides in a court of law. Which is why I now turn to you, Herr Forehead. Sorry. I've got a question for you. Huh? For me? The igniter and the burnt fragments that were found at the scene of the crime. It's certainly a possibility that they were part of a ruse to fake the sound of gunshots. Throw the headset from the hallway into the mix and you could fabricate an alibi. But we're still no closer to proving anything. Those gunshots might have been real, or fake. We can't say. You've raised the possibility that the shots heard during the third set were fake. Now you need to prove the other half of that case. The other half? Look, I'll just tell him. He wants you to prove the thing went down in the second act.
while our little piano player was on stage. Is that right, Gavin? Indeed. If you can't prove that, then to continue this cross-examination will be pointless. Well, Mr. Justice. I don't know why I can't do his voice today. Can you prove the crime took place during the second set? Yeah, I think. You'd better know, Apollo. Otherwise we're through. It can be proven. You make it sound like someone else is going to come along and do it for you. I mean, I am. Let's continue with the cross-examination then, shall we? Witness. Wait. Why is my voice not cooperating with me tonight? I'm sorry. Witness, your testimony if you would. This isn't gonna be easy. I need some decisive proof. Fast. You ready, kid? 'Cause I am. I suppose I'll press A. Always is good. But the gunshots heard during the third set could have been, what? Some kind of setup? Heard that one before. We need proof, Apollo. We need to prove that the shooting took place during the second set. Well, if you know how to do that, I'm all ears. Maybe the gunshots could be after all. What do you mean? Well, Mommy Roar said she heard them, right? Right in the middle of her illusion, when she was up above the ceiling. When she forgot the words of the song, yeah. If you think the gun was shot there, right when she missed those lyrics, we're home free, I think. True. Not easy, but true. Is there some way to prove that? Let's take a look through our evidence. Maybe there's something in there. Hey, aren't you supposed to be cross-examining me? Try to refrain from private discussion during cross-examination, Mr. Justice. Right, Your Honor. Sorry. It's pretty eager to paint Mommy Roar's a liar, huh? Okay, yeah, this is just the end of the pressing. Okay. So I kind of want to watch the video again. Let's think here. So there's this. I mean, 30 feet. Is there anything, like, can you hear gunshots? Hold on, I'm gonna turn this up. Is it? So that no, it doesn't really sound like anything's off per se during that. Would her mic pick it up? Not really. What is this one? What? Hold on. Oh, this is the guitar. Yeah, this is the acoustic. It's the piano. What's this one? Oh, the drums. Okay. Huh. See, I was thinking maybe the like the bass part would be slightly off or something. I mean, her dropping her brooch. That still depends on her testimony, though, right? Estimated time of death. Wait. The two autopsy report. Estimated time of death 9:30. What time was the concert parts? Time elapsed between shooting and death currently under review. Is this it? Objection! The witness's statement is clearly faulty. No. I thought I was onto something for a second because it didn't immediately take away anything. Huh. If you're so sure, let's see a proof. If you can prove the gun was shot right when she missed those layers, we're home free. The victim's key, maybe? There are 3 keys on the starship ring. Starship key was the key to get the car case. Wasn't he saying he had to break his case because he couldn't get it unlocked? I could open a lock like that in 10 seconds, easy. Should give me a call. So you had slapped handcuffs on you after you opened it? Handcuffs? 20 seconds, top. That she's on my side. Okay, so there's no new evidence there. Shot in the shoulder. The crime scene. I mean, the bullet placement is still really bizarre, I think. Like, it's at the wrong place, you know? But how do we prove... How do we prove that it's the second... The timing of this stuff. Like, we found this in the piano, so it had to be tossed in the piano, but the piano was in use in the second set. I mean, I guess you could argue that it was tossed in afterwards, right? I don't know. This is tricky. I'm really not sure. Yeah, we already looked at this before. See, I thought I was onto something with the mixing board in the video, but... Did she miss the first or the second? Shot on the shoulder. There's a cymbal crash right at the beginning, but I mean, Trucy's telling me there's something in the evidence, you know? Maybe, can we do anything to note that she's got something to back up her story? I feel like, no, that can't be it, right? It's gotta be... I'm just gonna guess. I'll guess the video. Or maybe the mixer. So like, if he put his headset down, then that would be one of the reasons why he would be off later, right? So you'd have to not have it later on the Thursday, but he had it during that, so he'd be on. Like, no, okay. See, I still think the bullet holes in the wall make no sense because that looks more like Latouche was firing the gun. Or like, either that or someone moved the body afterwards? Mixing board? It is the mixing board. It seems there was clear proof left behind. Right here in Lemuro's song. Her song? What exactly is this device thing? A new variety of gramophone, perhaps? Come on, we just use this. This device was used to record the performance part by part. Part? You move the sliders to adjust the volume. Each instrument is adjustable separately, Lamuro's voice included. Oh, but what does this prove? According to Lamuro's testimony, at the moment of the shooting, she forgot the words of the song. Ha! You intend to examine the recording at that moment, yeah? We might even hear those gunshots. Exactly. Ha! Ridiculous. How are you supposed to hear gunshots back in that dressing room on stage? Have you forgotten, Darian? We've all wearing these headsets. No. We're all deeply involved in our performance. But Lamuro's headset would have picked up what she heard all the same. But let's get to analyzing that recording.
right now. Longroar stops singing and turns the shots fired. Find that spot and I'll find the gunshots. Right here, right? Yeah. Oh, when I actually heard it that time. Oh, wait. If you turn on everyone else, it's right there. Take that! Your Honor, listen to this part. What is this? I hear nothing. How is this possible? Wait, isn't the judge hard of hearing? I can hear just fine, thank you very much. You heard me thinking. I saw what you were thinking on your face. Yeah, the judge's hearing aside. I too heard nothing. Leading me to believe there's nothing there to be heard. I guess that's the wrong spot. Wait, what? A penalty on behalf of all who are hearing impaired, you insensitive braggart. Enjoy. Nice. Okay. Okay, but okay, so I guess it's not locate the gunshot. It's it's locate where she stopped singing. Oh, it just autosave. Fine. Be that way. Wait, whoa, wait a minute. Is this the wrong save? Okay, fine. Objection! I just want to get through this again real quick. Alright. Because you can hear the gunshot. See, I thought it was a symbol. It says locate the gunshot though, which I totally did, just saying. Wish I could like speed it up slightly. It's right here, right? Your Honor, listen closely to this part. This is the track with Longroar's vocals. I did hear something faintly there, yes. Why, it sounded like a gunshot. What? Has to be some kind of mistake. His hair got all floppy. I believe a case has been made. Gunshots were heard during the second set. This means Longroar's testimony was true. Gah. Water. So, she was telling the truth about what she heard. It was the other man speaking, not Mr. Latouche.
Well, what did he say?
It's over. Press the switch. Now. Just after that, there was a gunshot. And then the guitar caught on fire. Detective Crescent, you went on stage then the second set. You could have done it.
But why did we only hear one gunshot on the recording? Weren't 2 bullets fired from this weapon?
Lamy War was moving through the air vent, Your Honor. She must not have been close enough for her mic to catch the first shot. But then, as she passed over the dressing room, the gun fired again, and Mr. Latouse's life was taken. Well, Detective Crescent? Once again, I reminded of something. Our performance that day.
Your performance?
Singing the mixing board dropped my memory. You were there too, Herr Forehead. Fact is with today. Problem at the problem. My hog won't start. My guitar case is busted. My guitar's been burnt to a crisp, and to top it all off, someone's dead. And then there was that performance just now. What was that all about? This part is all. Which is that? Second guitar. It was you, Darian. I thought it was strange at the time. How could you miss such a simple cue? I know you. I know how you play. You're better than that. Yeah, well, You what?
And Prosecutor Gavin, what are you getting at?
I'm talking about the murder weapon. Mr. Latouse's 45 caliber hand cannon. As you have learned, even the shooter doesn't go unscarred with a revolver that side. The kickback is not to dislocate your shoulder if you're an amateur. Wait, you mean his plane was affected because he hurt himself shooting that revolver? Ha! You're forgetting something.
Yes, Detective Crescent.
I am a trained police officer. I've had firearms training. Plenty of it. I'm no amateur. The standard sidearm issued to police officers a 38 caliber weapon. How much tame a beast? Also, the murder victim belonged to the victim, Miss Latouse. Which suggests there was a struggle between killer and victim.
So, the killer might not have been holding the revolver correctly when he fired. Is that what you mean?
The thought had occurred to me, yes.
Well, does the witness have anything to say to this? Detective Crescent?
What I want to ask is what Mr. Sleeves rolled up already. Sorry. Is what Mr. Sleeves rolled up ready for action has to say. Hey, you. Attorney. Me? Exactly which piece of your evidence is decisive again? That little noise on a tape deck could be anything. You have an alleged guitar cue missed due to a 45 caliber kickback. I weep for this case, Gavin. I really do. You can line up your little weak pieces of evidence all you want. I didn't shoot that manager. That's the obvious truth.
The witness has a point. The defense's arguments, while persuasive, are not decisive. I believe we should hear what the witness has to say in response to the case so far. Your testimony, please, Detective Crescent. Tell us your reasons why you couldn't have done it.
Come on. I don't even want to kill that manager. You want a reason? Easy. I got no motive, man. This is that diva's first trip to this country, right? How could I possibly know her manager? If I didn't know him, why would I want to kill him? Huh. Doesn't he work for the Virginian embassy, though?
A simple reason indeed. Prosecutor Gavin said the case that Mr. Latouse had not been to our country before.
According to our records, yes, not even once.
I see. Very well. Mr. Justice, you may begin the cross-examination.
Great, now I need to find a motive. I assume it's the cocoon. He's probably trying... Honestly, the detective... I wouldn't be surprised if this ties back into the police justice's son having icteritis, and, like, Darian's trying to get one, and, like, threatened him in some way or whatever, or, like, had Machi smuggle one for him or something. I don't know.
Hold it!
Her manager, sure, but Mr. Latouse was... Oh, right. Sorry. An Interpol agent, wasn't he?
I just have trouble picturing that big lunk as an undercover cop, you dig? And not a very good one, seeing as he got wasted. Hold on. Not that it matters either way. No reason to kill that man, whatever it was.
Hold it!
But that's the same for Machi. No motive was proven for him. Come on. Traveled around the world with that old fart. He had plenty of time to come up with a motive of his own. More than I sure did. I mean, think about it.
Hold it!
Darian, you're a detective with international affairs? Yeah, what of it? Even if this was Mr. Latusse's first trip to this country, you still could have met him prior to the concert. Huh. Or don't you take any international trips in international affairs? That's right. Whoa, Detective Crescent! That's your game, is it? Guess I better confess then. Confess? Yeah, it's a bit of an embarrassment, but I've never been sent overseas. What? But you're an international... See? Me and Plain's got a difference of opinion. We don't like each other much. My condolences, Herr Forehead, but he's telling the truth. He's never set foot outside the country. I can guarantee it. Wait, but don't the Gaviners tour the world? As it turns out, my division has plenty of work to do locally as well. That's so unfair.
Hold it!
So you didn't fraternize with him at all during the concert? Fraternize? I don't think we exchanged a single word. Does anyone want to talk to that old Eastern blockhead? Now the ladies, that's a different matter altogether. So you see. This feels like the cocoon bit. You sure about that? What? What? Let that look off your face before I do it for you. Listen, you try throwing out one of your wild accusations. I'll throw it back at you so hard you'll forget who you're accusing of what. Yeah, forehead perhaps it's best if you let your evidence do the talking, yeah? Man, what evidence? That's what I want to know. So he's using this motive question with ammunition, huh? Oh, I've got ammunition too. Evidence. Okay, I think it's the last one probably. Either that or the second one. And it was because the cocoon was also found underneath the.
Objection!
It was found underneath the couch or something, right? Your Honor, take a look at this. What's that? Looks like candy. It's not. Don't lick it, please. Detective Crescent, ever see this? Looks like a piece of candy. What it is evidence. Don't lick it before you try it. Specifically, this is a replica of a cocoon. It was found among the victim's belongings. A cocoon? Never seen one that color. It is a variety only found in the Republic of Virginia. Nowhere else. Alright, but what is this cocoon replica doing in my courtroom? Surely this has nothing to do with a motive for killing Mr. Latouche, does it? It does. Wait, I think it does. You know, it sounds like confident, man. A cocoon? Is it one of those silky cocoons? The kind that you can make, well, silk out of? Not this one. This cocoon makes a powerful curative. A curative? For what? Apparently, it is most effective. I'm sorry. Efficacious? Like, it's effective, but... Effective... I've never seen someone put effect together like that before. What? Efficacious? Efficacious, I guess. Huh. That's a weird way of... Okay. It is most efficacious at treating a disease called incurable. It is the only medicine of its kind. However, it is illegal to take one of those healing cocoons out of Bulgaria. Whatever for? If it's such a miracle cure, why not share it with the world? Yeah, that's what I've been wondering. We looked into the matter at some length. Apparently, it isn't difficult at all to manufacture the remedy from the cocoon. Yet, if you change the process only slightly, you can easily make a large quantity of something else entirely. A deadly poison, in fact. What?
There was an incident several years ago where someone was got out in the black market. It caused quite the commotion in the global community, though the media was kept largely unaware. Intriguing. All this has led to a strict ban on the cocoon's export, one rigidly enforced by Interpol among others. Interpol. Right. The victim, Romain Latouche, was an Interpol agent. Detective Crescent, you insist on referring to him as a manager. But that's misleading. Romain Latouche wasn't killed as a manager. He was killed as an undercover agent. So I was trying to smuggle this gumball into the country? That's what you're trying to say? I'm saying that could well be a motive for murder. No, I was gonna sell it on the black market, make myself a pretty penny. Ridiculous. I mean, totally unthinkable. Unthinkable, you say? Why? Perhaps it's time for another testimony about this smuggling of cocoons business. International Affairs got a memo about these cocoons. Interpol's all hot and bothered about them. Can't sell them on the black market. Too dangerous. Yeah, cocoon smuggling ain't exactly lucrative anymore. Yeah, I'm in International Affairs. I know the deal. Indeed. Interpol wanted these cocoons bad enough to send Mr. Latouche undercover. You kids think of the craziest things. But no way am I gonna risk life and limb. Just to get my hands on some dirty cocoon money. Not the most noble of statements, but duly noted. According to reports, these cocoons top Interpol's list. Selling them to an underground organization would be risky. Very well. You may begin the cross-examination. This is the only motive I've got. He was up to something. I'm gonna find out what. I'm thinking he's doing it for a good reason. Like he wanted the cocoon to save the Chief Justice's son or something.
Hold it!
That memo. That's how you know about the cocoons. Oh, nice one. Nice one. Running scared now. You had to know about the cocoons to plan this. Just how well known all these cocoons? I'm embarrassed to admit it, but I've never heard of them. Well, Lamy Warren knew about them, but not their use. My reports indicate that there are ongoing efforts to control information about cocoons. Most people only know they're illegal to export, that's all. Then, I've nothing to be embarrassed about after all. You could say people like me who know about them are a minority, yeah. But that includes everyone in International Affairs, man. And everyone in Interpol, too, for that matter. Yeah.
Hold it!
So there are other Interpol agents like Mr. Latouche? All over the world, likely. Deep undercover, most of them. That's why these cocoons are too hot for the black market. You don't want Interpol sniffing through your wares. Most came to the conclusion that...
Hold it!
Sell them. Dangerous. Yeah, Interpol finds you, they arrest you on the spot. Or another marketeer might think you're part of a sting and take you out himself. Times have changed.
Hold it!
Did you know that from experience? But wouldn't scarcity drive up the prices? Yeah, and attention. Every gangster and his brother would want a piece of that action. They'd turn your forehead into Swiss cheese before you could say objection. Maybe we could get them to cut his head, too. Who's on trial here again? Man, you still obviously know nothing about the market. That's a bad thing? Don't even try to mess with me about this stuff.
Hold it!
Which is why you know how to find a loophole in the system. Hey, say what you want about me, but back off the International Affairs. There ain't no loopholes, okay? What do you think we are, Boy Scouts? That wasn't what I was trying to, down, Darian. It's as you say. There are no loopholes, at least in the case of these cocoons. International Affairs, Interpol, and Virginian Customs are all watching. See, we know what we're doing. Not like some yipping little doggies lap every word that diva says. Why I oughta what? Want some of this? Cheer to both of you. Let's do this cool, yeah? Screw cool. I want this guy's head on a stick. The replica has to be the key to his motive. There's gotta be a way to find out what he was up to.
I don't really know where to, like, present those. Maybe any of them will work. But I'm thinking, don't we have a newspaper? Yeah. This. I would think it's this, right? See, I'm thinking he's not trying to sell it. He's trying to get one, like, to get a cure. Marketer might think you're part of a sting and take you out of a cell. Well, that's what happened. Like if he thought he was smuggling or something. He wrote his Interpol ID down, right? I'm still going with this. Like okay. Okay. Here we go. I got it. Why not choose the less dangerous buyer then? I would. How clueless are you? Everyone in the market's dangerous. The second they found out I was a cop, I could kiss my keister goodbye. Why sell to a black market buyer? How about someone like this? That article. That's about the Chief Justice's. A deadly poison can be extracted from the cocoon. But so can a cure. And not a cure for just any disease. A cure for incuritis. Incuritis? Heard of that somewhere. I did visit a victim of the disease this morning. Aha! Why, that's the disease the Chief Justice's son has. You aren't sane. Our witness is a detective. He would have contact with the Chief Justice. You are sane. The Chief Justice would never deal in contraband. Not even to save his own son's life? The deal went through. Why, an international scandal. That's Detective Crescent's insurance. If word ever got out, the one with his neck on the line would be the Chief Justice. Detective Crescent, this is true. First I'm a murderer, now I'm a smuggler. How many crimes are you trying to pin on me anyway? This task force is to think about. If the Chief Justice were the buyer, why, son, I couldn't hope for a better deal. Very cowardly, seller. Don't let sleeves over there trick you. So I made a deal with the Chief Justice? Where's your proof? Well... Oh, yeah. You're forgetting one other important thing. Do tell? Interpol isn't the only one out there watching this. Virginian Customs barely sleeps. They're so worried about cocoons getting out. So we were informed. Yeah, but it was through the guitar. Let's continue with the cross-examination. Yeah. Yep, this is it. Alright, I'll press anyway, but I'm pretty sure we need to present the guitar on this. Just how strict is this customs check? Way strict. They keep planes on the ground for hours. I do recall it being a bit extreme. They were even confiscating gumdrops and marshmallows. Yes, it'd be hard to distinguish them. That's right, that was in Virginia, wasn't it? I remember setting off the metal detector several times. Had to practically strip naked to walk through. It's a travel tip for you, Gavin. Leave the bling at home, you glimmerous flop. Oh, there's more to this. That's pretty extreme. Virginia has this rep as an idyllic laid-back place. Truth is, they're beyond hardcore with security. The Republic of Virginia is a peaceful, pleasant country. So this level of security shows how truly concerned they are about these cocoons. That's the situation. Hey man, there's a way to get cocoons out there, I'd show it, you know? You're in a position to know quite a bit about smuggling. Yeah, we know a bit from work, sure. But all we get are reports on the failed smuggling ops. not exactly something you want to go copy. But if you want, I can tell you a few of them. Maybe you'll succeed and get rich. I would be interested in learning, purely from a legal perspective, of course. The replica has to be the key to this motive. It's gotta be the way to find out what it's up to. Okay, okay. So, very thorough, everything and everyone is checked. In position where you put the rest on the spot. If there's a way to get cocoons out of there, I'd sure like to know.
Objection!
They shrink wrapped the guitar, remember? Actually, there is one way. What? One way to get something out of the country. No checks. Oh, what is it? You become a prosecutor. A prosecutor? I don't believe it. Believe it, Prosecutor Gavin. What was it that you told me yesterday at your office? It was a beautiful instrument. Played lovingly for many years. A guitar befitting a woman like Lamiro. How did it end up here? I mentioned how much I enjoyed playing it that night, and she made a present of it. So this guitar's from Virginia? That it is. They couldn't carry it on the play. Changes in air pressure and humidity ruined the wood. So we vacuum packed it in Lamiro's studio. I used a special shipping service available to me for transporting evidence. They brought it right up to my office for me. Pristine and untouched. Did I get that right, Prosecutor Gavin? Untouched? Quite. The guitar was wrapped in several sheets and vacuum packed in Virginia. The pack was untouched until the day of the concert. Are you saying that guitar was? With cocoons this small, it would have been very easy to use your guitar as a mule to smuggle a cocoon out of Virginia. What? Which reminds me, Prosecutor Gavin, that guitar had some work done in it recently, right? Work? With memory hat forehead. Yeah, you know how guitars have a round hole in front. It's called the sound hole. Yeah, they found something attached to the wood just inside the hole. A broken device or something. A broken device? Yes, it is in fact. An igniter. Exactly. Consider this, if you will. What if this igniter wasn't the only thing that was attached inside your guitar? I mean, it means this, of course. Huh. Oh! There was a way to get a cocoon out of the country. They could use picky Prosecutor Gavin's privileged guitar as a mule. And who better to do that than someone with access? Like a member of the band. Yo! He says. Water! 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 So the igniter was placed in there for a clear reason, it seems. It was a safety precaution. A precaution? Ah, yeah, forehead. At last, it all comes together. Every strange thing that happened that day. Get a review? Maestro. The gentle sound to Lamiro's ballad, if you please. Fast. My keys were stolen. A harmless misdemeanor. Which forced me to break the lock on my guitar case. The key was stolen to retrieve the cocoon from the guitar. I see. But things didn't go so well. The smuggler wasn't counting on the guitar being wrapped. Only a member of the band could get near that case. Unwrapping the guitar would raise too many suspicions. Then the concert began. Right about this time. A very large problem presented itself to the smuggler. What's that? Mr. Latouche. Ah. Mr. Latouche, an undercover agent, was onto something. He would have known about the guitar. He'd only have to check the shipping records. So, Mr. Latouche tried to examine the guitar himself. If the cocoon were confiscated, then the gig would be up. The only thing left for the smuggler to do was to get rid of the whole lot. Door. Press the switch. Now! The guitar burst into flames, and the cocoon was lost. And then... Mr. Latouche died. With Lamiro there to witness it. There's your case. Brilliant, man. Detective Crescent. I gotta know. You make all that up on the fly. It's all a made-up story. It makes a great deal of sense, Darian. The Republic of Virginia. Sorry, man, but I haven't even been there. True, you haven't. Let's see you make up a story for that, kid. How'd I hide the cocoon in the first place, huh? You got Machi to do it somehow? It's not so hard to imagine. You would help a Virginian accomplice. That's all. That you had an accomplice was clear from the start. The voice Lamior heard proves it. It's over. Press the switch. Now! You made this transmission from backstage, while your co-conspirator was on stage. But who was it? This is a disgrace. But once I know what I'm doing, there's only one person who could have helped him. Let's hear what Mr. Justice has to say then. But be warned, with a great accusation comes great responsibility, Spider-Man. Make up your ass on the fly, as it were. You'll be harshly penalized. Are you ready, Mr. Justice? Who was the smuggler's accomplice?
Take that!
Has to be him. There's only one person who meets all the requirements of the accomplice. And that person is the defendant, Machi Tobase.
But Mr. Justice, he's your client.
The defense attorney accusing his client. That's a new one. I assure you, no one is more unhappy about this than I. But I'm here to defend him in the murder of Mr. Latouche. And I stand by my statement earlier that he is innocent of that particular crime.
Indeed. The defendant is Virginian. He does meet the basic requirements to be the accomplice. But what if it was, in fact, Lamior?
It couldn't have been.
Well, you seem sure of yourself.
The reason is electronic signals, Your Honor.
Electronic signals?
Recall that this remote only works to a range of 30 feet. Beyond that, it's useless.
Yes, that's true.
Now think back to the testimony. When the shooter made his transmission, Lamior was in the air vent, right above the dressing room where the shooter stood. Let's look at the stage diagram. This is the area the remote could reach from the air vent.
Well, look at this. It seems that Lamior still could have done the deed.
No. When the shooter made that transmission, the stage was slightly different than shown here. It was in the middle of the guitar serenade. Part of the stage was raised. Prosecutor Gavin and the Lamior stand-in were in the air. They were on a tower, which happens to be 15 feet tall. In other words, the remote couldn't have worked from Lamior's position in the air vent.
Oh.
Well, Detective Crescent, what do you say to that? Your Honor.
Yes, Detective.
Can we see the video where Gavin's guitar burns? Just one more time.
Well, I don't see why not.
What? Don't tell me he has a way out of this. I mean, they were raising up during that part, so theoretically you could say that she did it, but it still wouldn't work. Also, you can see that the fires start there. Too bad, so sad, punk. Punk? First you were sleeves, then kid, now punk. You're losing rank fast, Apollo.
What exactly were we supposed to see in this video?
The problem isn't in what we see, correct, Diane? Right, but you hear. We are musicians, after all. Care to explain for us non-musicians? Sure thing, Punk. Let me get your yarn straight first. You're saying I ordered the wee pianist to set off that igniter? That right? Yes? Well, in order to do that, you had to press a switch. Right? Okay. Well, take another listen. Pay attention to the piano. But it was in the piano, so you could just press a key to do it. mean, there was no piano during that part. I mean, my TV volume's a little low, so it doesn't echo into the mic, but I didn't hear it either. What seems to be the problem there? The piano sounded just fine. And that's the problem, man. You still don't get it? Yeah, how's he supposed to hit that switch if he's playing? Got Miss Diva, the guitar, the bass, the piano, the drums. The one with the hands free was the diva. But according to you, she couldn't have been the accomplice, could she? Your accomplice would have had a hard time helping out. They couldn't even press a switch. I really don't enjoy that art shift for him doing that. It really makes him look like a monkey. Or like a character from Arthur. But I mean, you can clearly see her hands in this, though. The piano plays non-stop. But it goes like there. He couldn't have pressed that switch. Wrong. 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 Pretty sure we can hear it. Is he 4? Bet you there's a wrong note in here. There's a wrong note. There's also a bit of a pause in there too. Shut up, Metro. Right there. You can hear it. It's off during that part. Well, Mr. Justice, the piano does seem to be playing when the guitar catches fire. Well, also, those things have a wind-up. It's okay. We'll make mistakes sometimes. Apollo, were you wrong? I can't be wrong. Everything makes perfect sense. How could it all just... Strange. What's strange? No, it's just, something's odd about the performance there. Odd? Mr. Justice, if Machi Tobase didn't press that switch, then he could not be the accomplice you say he is. But everything points to it. Every fact says he's the accomplice. You got the facts wrong, man. Here are some facts for you. Gavin's guitar is on fire, but the pianist didn't press that switch. Otherwise your story's full of holes. Mr. Justice, let's hear your final opinion on this matter now. Was the defendant Machi Tobase the accomplice? Your answer reflects on everything you said here. Give us some thought. Apollo, if Machi's not the accomplice, then our whole case is ruined. I know that. It has to be. He's the only one who can help the smuggler. He had to have pressed that switch. You better find a way to prove it. What do I do? There has to be something that doesn't fit. Something odd. Something odd. Wait a sec. What? You thought of something? What was Gavin saying just now? Really? Really? We need a flashback for this? No. I'm not reading it. We literally just read that. It's not much to go on, but it's all I've got. What exactly did he hear that was odd? Have you come up with something, Mr. Justice? May I remind you that everything rests on this. Can you prove that Machi Tobase pressed that switch? Yes. So your final answer. Heck yeah. I don't know if you call this proof per se, but I can prove it was possible. Then, as prosecutor, it falls to me to ask you to show us evidence supporting this.
Yeah, forehead, you're sure about this. Ha! Accept it. There's no evidence, man. Let's see your evidence, Mr. Justice. On what do you base your claim that the defendant pressed the switch?
Take that!
Music board. Or mixing board, sorry. The basis for my claim is music, Your Honor.
Music? What about music?
Let's listen to the piano part around the time when the switch was to be pressed, right before the guitar burst into flame.
I hear a piano being played.
But doesn't it sound kind of simple?
Simple?
I think I know what he's suggesting. You think Machi could have played that part with one hand?
One hand?
He only needed one hand to press that switch. He could play the piano with the other.
Ha! What? So you're some kind of piano savant?
Actually, no.
Then what do you know? You can't just play a part like that with one hand.
Wait, I know. Oh, sorry. Wait, I know. Hey, Trucy. Yeah? You got something? Mr. Wright, your father. He's a pianist. Could he... Oh, Daddy. He couldn't play a part like that even if he had 3 hands.
So sorry. So sad for you.
No, not really.
Huh?
That was just the easy way to prove it. There's always the hard way.
Man, how are you gonna prove whether you play with one hand or 2? You can't.
I admit, it'll be rather difficult to prove, but it's highly likely he was playing with one hand.
How do you know that?
The clues what prosecutor Gavin described as something odd. What sounded odd? I'll bet we can tell by listening to a certain part of the song.
No, no way.
We're gonna listen to the second part again.
Well, it seems we've come to the moment of truth at last. Let's hear what Mr. Justice has to say for himself.
Sorry that I'm saying so much. It's just like, if we mess up and need to reload, it makes it easier to be closer.
Show us the part that proves the defendant was playing with one hand, right before the guitar burst into flame.
Machi was definitely playing one-handed just really hard. And one section of the song proves it. Well, it's gonna be the second section then, but okay. That. That part. That metronome was seriously irritating. Right there, I think. Oh, shit, I got it wrong. Yeah, okay. Really? Like, I mean, like the little dun 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 could be easily played with one hand. And he wasn't playing any bass notes at the time either. What a pun. Also, they're being tricky here because it was 3 sections before, now it's 4. I mean, that doesn't sound like you could play that one-handed. Wait, I still think that's weird, that bit right there. But he's gonna say he doesn't hear anything, right? Yeah. I mean, maybe it's just a slightly off-colored note that blends in with like the rest of the harmonies and makes it sound okay. And it's like, it has to be after the part. Like, Lummy Roar heard them talking after the gunshot, right? So, I mean... It's gotta be in the 4th section then, right? No? Really? I'm confused. It doesn't make any sense to me that it would be the 1st section. Because, like, what? The guitar, I mean, the gun hadn't been fired. Didn't Lummy Roar say it was after the gunshot? There's no way that this goes back all the way, right? The part with Lummy Roar. No. One section. You know, hold on. Just that part. All right, let's find that part in the song and present it. Oops. It's right there, right? Seriously? Why? Why? Why is this so difficult? Like, it's like, I know it takes a while for these things to start up, but it has to come after the gunshot. Like, it doesn't make any sense for it to be the other way. You know? I don't get it. I don't get it. Yeah. It's a beautiful song. You're terrible at your job. It's not a problem. Sad. What was the odd thing that Gavin heard? Switch is pressing the first half of the second verse, right? The first half of the second verse. I just need to find a place to compare to that. Give me one more chance. Oh, it doesn't let you load here. But that part also is a little bit funky, right? But it still doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't make any sense because the gunshot, like, I guess I just don't remember Lemur's testimony properly, you know? Prosecutor Gavin, I'm sure you realize by now just what it was that sounded odd to you. As I'm sure you've realized it yourself, Herr Forehead. Realize what? I'll demonstrate. Let's listen to the part in question again, shall we? Pay particular attention to the but a fleeting melody phrase. Man, how many times do I have to listen to the same thing? You're right. Enough of that. Let's listen to another section, shall we? Another section? The guitar bursts into flame at the end of the second verse. Let's listen to the same spot in the first verse. Pay attention to "Oh, that night in your embrace." Oh, play verse 2 again. There. Did you hear that? They feel the same too, but they're clearly very different. What? Well put, Your Honor. The phrase in verse 2 is quite simple, but the same phrase in verse 1 is high and low notes. You'd have to use two hands to play that for sure. Oh. What's that proof? I don't think you know that by now. So I hate dealing with amateurs, man. So the two verses are different arrangements. Happens all the time. Not this time, Darian. There's no point in changing the arrangement if you can't hear it clearly. And that wasn't the point. I had him play specifically so that the piano would stay in the background. Oh. That was what I noticed. Why should the same phrase sound slightly different, I asked myself. Now ask yourself why Machi changed how he played. There's only one answer. He needed a free hand in order to press the switch.
Ugh. Nork. What is that word?
Water. 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 I believe this ties all the facts together. Well, Prosecutor Gavin.
Yes, quite. Though, personally, this comes as a terrible disappointment.
Huh.
What? No comeback? Can't believe it. I finally did it. I shut him up.
Very well. Barring an objection from the prosecution, I will now state the court's opinion on this matter.
Good show, Sleeves. No, great show. It's not over. I don't like when he looks so happy. You tell him, Gavin. You tell him what's so disappointing. Personally, I'm terribly disappointed in you, Hair Forehead. Huh? Me? Yes, don't get me wrong. Your case is solid. The facts all check out. But even now, you have yet to show us a single piece of decisive evidence. Yeah, but the facts. Anyone can see it was him.
Unfortunately, anyone does not include the law. Your case doesn't cut it.
But
1,000 facts might point towards the same conclusion. But without decisive evidence, it's not proof. That's the rule under our current legal system.
Really?
It does not seem as though the defense has any more evidence to present.
I think if he did, he would have already seen it a long ways back. I don't know, man. Present hair gel for this man.
It is unfortunate, but at present this court is unable to acknowledge your accusation.
What? The truth is staring us all right in the face. Why can't they see it? What's the point of a legal system that protects criminals? Apollo, remember what Daddy said? It would be easy proving he did it. Especially not in the current courses. So what do I do? Like I said, good luck. Be aware that it will be impossible to prove his guilt by conventional methods. Every man has an igniter inside him. Find Darien Crescent's igniter and set it off. Well, I mean, he gets rolling around a Machi. I wonder what I meant by every man's igniter. I think he just meant a weak spot, you know? The kind of thing that a single spark could turn into a wildfire of emotion. Could have pressed him further by conventional means. Weak spot in the sky. Something fatal. So, can I get back to work now or what? I mean, it looks like I got a lot of time on my hands. I got no more time to play pretend with this deadweight attorney.
Well, Mr. Justice, we've come this far without decisive evidence. This witness won't be coming back to the stand once we let him go.
Every man has an igniter. Huh? Didn't you say the better the guitar, the brighter it burns, Prosecutor Gavin? Yes, good guitars are kept dry is why. That provides the best sound. Even a small spark could cause irreparable damage. Your plan has an igniter in it too, Detective. It was there from the very beginning. What? Fine time, Justice. You blow this one, it'll be out of your hands for good. Well, let's not blow it then. Go for it, Apollo. What? And this igniter's supposed to come burn me up? That's most poetic there, Mr. Attorney. All the better. I'm rather fond of poetry. And I intend to hear this one through to the very end. Hair Forehead, you are accusing this man, Darien Crescent, of 2 crimes. The murder of Mr. Latouche, and the smuggling of a Virginian cocoon. This is your last chance to prove your case. This trial has already run... Sorry.
This trial has already run on for far too long. Mr. Justice, this will be my last warning. The moment this igniter of yours turns out to be a dud...
Dot.
It's the moment this cross-examination ends. Understood?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then let's have it. Show us the basis for these accusations against Darien Crescent.
Okay. This is really my last chance. The key that would take apart Darien Crescent's plan is present evidence or call a witness. I don't have any evidence. I mean, it's weird that there's a replica, but that's what it is.
I doubt it's literally the igniter. So you gotta be curious about who prints on it. I kind of want to call a witness. Your igniter isn't a piece of evidence. Huh? So what is? It is true that I couldn't show decisive evidence, but perhaps what I need to prove my case was something else. You mean a witness? Proving his guilt is a tall order, but I've got just the person to do it. Very well, Mr. Justice. Who is this person who can prove Darian Crescent's guilt? His accomplice, obviously.
Take that!
That's why he's so scared, and it's why Darian came to the detective area. Whoa, hey! I need to read that, dude. The one who can prove Darian Crescent's guilt is the defendant, Machi Tobase. Your client again. Machi Tobase was an accomplice to the cocoon smuggling plot. Without him, Darian Crescent could not have got the cocoon. Furthermore, he can easily prove that the one who plotted to smuggle that cocoon is the real criminal in this case. How so? It would require just one of the very cocoons Mr. Latus is looking for. With the cooperation of the Republic of Virginia, we could burn a cocoon. The burnt cocoon would leave a particular residue. A residue we would, no doubt, also find inside the burnt-out guitar. Ah, very scientific of you. Thus, if Machi Tobase acknowledges his agreement with Darian Crescent concerning the attempted smuggling of the Virginia cocoon, the case is solved. Darian's laughing again. Your unrelenting passion is remarkable. You really want to get me, don't you? Too bad you'll never be able to. Why not? The little key tickler won't acknowledge anything, especially not anything to do with cocoon smuggling. What's this all about? Taking a cocoon out of the country means death, by Virginian law. Yeah, see? If our pianist really was a smuggler, then testifying about it would be suicide. Believe me, he's not talking. But you're wrong, Detective Crescent. What? It's the other way around. If Machi doesn't admit to smuggling here, he's in deep trouble. Huh? How? Look, if Machi admits to smuggling here, then he'll be tried in our courts by our laws. You don't get the death penalty for smuggling in our country. Ugh. The victim in this case was an undercover Interpol agent. I'm sure that news has already reached Virginia, and they'll likely broadcast our dealings in court today, including the part about the Virginian cocoon. Yeah, but if Machi doesn't admit to smuggling now, he'll eventually be picked up by the Virginian police. It's not like he's in any danger in our court. We're not going to find him guilty of murder here. Not now. Yeah, but you can't do this. You can't accuse me. Maybe the law doesn't allow it. But who's going to think you're really innocent after hearing this trial? The same goes for Machi Tobase. Ugh. Cocoon smuggling. Your entire plan. Machi Tobase knows everything. There's only one way out of it for him, and that's to acknowledge his own crime. The crime of cocoon smuggling. Don't worry there. I'll get you out of the country. I'll set you up someplace. Hidden mansion, real nice. Want a house made out of cookies? Want a house made out of pianos? Come on. Please. Don't talk. Oh, don't talk. Holy shit. What is this animation? Oh, he's so beaten. Darian, I consider that my last session with you. We rocked. I'm guessing we can treat that outburst as a confession. Uh-oh, he's laughing again. Kind of sick desperation in it. Well, we've been listening to today's trial. Yes. And you'll talk. You tell this court everything. I didn't want it to turn out this way, but I'm not the kind of lawyer that can overlook a crime. Today's trial was all for your benefit, you know.
I see no reason why you should hesitate now. I knew from the beginning, I knew. Machi, situation, I cannot explain, but money I needed. Very much money. Today's trial raises a delicate issue with our legal system. The only thing definite in a court of law is evidence. This is the golden rule. However, it has become apparent that not all things can be tried by this standard. Should another case of this sort surface, we may have to consider an alternate system by which to administer justice. Anyway, Mr. Machi Tobase. Yes? I promise you will receive a fair trial by the laws of our country. And with regard to the current charges for the murder of Mr. Letouce, this court is prepared to announce a verdict. Oh, look how happy he is. Look, he happy. He took off the sunglasses. Thank you. I only lie, but you see truth. You find truth. That's our job. Very well. This court finds the defendant, Machi Tobase, not guilty. Court is adjourned. I wonder what happened to Machi. Well, he did smuggle a cocoon out of Virginia. I guess there'll be another trial here. All's well that ends well. Daddy! I owe you both my thanks. Let me roar. What? Is something wrong? I'm sorry, Machi was your partner on stage. Your friend. Yes, I thought of him as my own son. Even now I do. Yet, something got a hold of him. Something evil. I see that. He must pay for what he has done. It is not how it should be. I'm still sorry. Do not be sorry. You are giving me courage. Courage? I am considering an eye operation. It was my suggestion, actually. You mean you'll be able to see again? It's funny. I have always been afraid of the light. Light seems so harsh, so unforgiving. Like opening a white web page in the middle of the night after sleeping. According to the doctor, Lamimura lost her sight due to some kind of accident. An accident? As you know, I suffer from amnesia. I feared that if I could see, perhaps it would open my eyes to the truth I've been running from. I was scared. You know what changed her mind? Hearing your defense in there today. She could feel your gaze, unwavering, always looking straight at the truth. If the light returns to my eyes, I think I would take a painting. Painting? That's right. She's a landscape painter in sound after all. I will paint the two of you. I promise. I can't wait, Lamimura. I owe you my thanks too, Apollo. Thanks? Mr. Right, but for what? You reminded me I need to hurry things along. On my secret mission, that is. Right, your secret mission. Apollo, Trucy, I hope that we'll meet again someday soon. You bet. Me too. I bet you she shows up in one of the other games. And so, like a ballad, the trial flowed on and on until it came to the end. Thanks to the trial, the guitarist Serenade was a huge hit. Prosecutor Gavin's even more dowsing to look at now. But there's something I want to say to that guy. Next time you write a ballad, have them catch the killer at the end. Oh, there was no present evidence at the end in the witness thing, like there normally is. Huh. I mean, that's fine, I guess. Means there's one less thing to accidentally screw up. All right, save complete. Turnabout succession. Well then, I wonder if Walkie's gonna show up again or something. You know, because he's succeeding his dad and everything. Probably not, but you know. And it looks like we are starting with an investigation, which will be good. But that won't be today. That'll be a different day of the week, next week. Right? Next week? Yeah, I'll still be around.
Next week will be normal as far as streams go, but the week after that, there won't be any streams. No, actually, I don't even think on Friday. Yeah, I have to travel to Seattle for work, and it's gonna fucking suck. It's gonna be great, but it's also gonna suck. Like, the my flights over are not direct, and they're pretty awful as far as things go. Like, they leave in the morning on Monday, and then there's like a 4-hour layover in one of the airports, and then a 6-hour flight, and like I arrive at, I think it'll be like past like 10:50 or something East Coast time, but it'd be 7:50 there, and it really sucks because there's this Japanese place that my coworker recommended, and they're open on Monday, but they're not open on Tuesday or Wednesday, and I had to leave on Thursday. Which sucks. I mean, there's plenty of other options, I'm sure, but still, when, like, you know, your coworker gives you a suggestion on like a really good place, and you look at their website, you go, ooh, this looks good, and then you find out that they're just not open on the days you're gonna be there. It's like, man, man. But that's not next week. That's the week after that. So, you know, we'll deal with it then. As far as what we're gonna do next, we're done with Ace Attorney for now. I think that I'm not gonna stream another game tonight. It's tempting, and honestly, if I do it, I probably would maybe do Etrian Odyssey 3, because I've been playing that on my off time a little bit, and it's been really enjoyable and nice, and that could be a good game to talk over, I suppose. But also, I like I said earlier at the start of the stream, I've had a long week. Yes, just a lot of things to get done, and pressure from people to get things done on time and that kind of thing. So it kind of takes it out of you. Anyway, so I'm gonna get going now, and tomorrow's Saturday. The next day is Sunday. I'm kind of planning on probably doing a dev stream, maybe tomorrow, maybe the day after, but probably more likely tomorrow afternoon, I would think, because I do want to keep working on the match 3 game, and you know, that kind of thing is fun to me. I just don't want to work on it tonight because I really want to just like zone out and relax. So tomorrow we'll work on it. So I hope you all have a good rest of your night, rest of your day, whatever time it is wherever you are, and I hope that you enjoyed the stream tonight and seeing the end of the Serenade. It was definitely like obvious, I suppose, at this point in the trial that it was Darian who did it, because all the clues were very much pointing to him, and it was just a matter of getting the evidence, quote unquote, which in the end really didn't happen. Like, it was kind of weird. Our decisive evidence was a witness, but our witness was also a defendant who then incriminated themselves. And, like, sure, like, he could admit to the plot, I guess. But also, I guess I don't know if the witness stand and the witness waiting room, like, are, like, is the witness waiting room just soundproof sometimes and other times not? Because, like, you could argue that, like, you know, he wants to get off for the defense, so he would say anything like that and incriminate himself for smuggling instead. Like, obviously he's a kid, so it's, like, not great. And, like, Apollo makes the point about it, about how, like, you know, if he does it in this country, then it's fine, versus the other one where it's death. But even that, you could argue, like, I don't know the legal words for it, but, like, it makes it, like, a very convenient thing for the witness to say or, like, lie about. So, I don't know, it was a little bit weird at the end that we didn't have, like, super duper clinching evidence that it definitely happened and etc. I mean, I think a witness is good, but also, like, when the witness is the defendant, it runs a little bit against him, I guess. So, but I suppose in the in whatever other cases happen, right? Like around that, when they go to court to deal with him being accused of murder, and I guess when Machi's tried for smuggling, they would deal with it during that. So, not my witness stand, not my problem, I guess. It was good enough that we got the judge to give us a not guilty. So, anyway, have a good one. I'll catch you all later, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thanks for watching.